Hello and welcome. My name is Carrie Tumenia, and this is your Rituals for Romance for the new moon in Virgo of September 2020. I have company today, so this is Georgia. She's going to help out. And I want to chat with you first about this new moon, because this new moon in particular is a little bit different than some of the new moons that we have come into contact before. So first of all, this new moon, September 17th, 2020, new moon in Virgo, is the first of 3 super new moons that are going to occur between now and December, all leading up to a full moon lunar eclipse in December. That is going to be sort of this culmination of stepping into something new, a new era, a new. And so these 3 super new moons that are going to lead up to that lunar event are going to be particularly important because they are preparing us for what is to come. They are preparing us to walk through that portal in December and really be conscious about what we're creating and what we're walking into at that time. And so these 3 new moons are your opportunity to prepare yourself for that, to leave behind what you need to leave behind, to integrate what needs to be integrated, and to really prep yourself for what is next for you. Right now, the other sort of interesting, significant thing about this new moon in Virgo is that unlike most new moons, so typically when we have a new moon, we always talk about sort of beginning a new cycle, starting something new projects, new connections, new circumstances. And we're really kind of looking at the new moon of this as this threshold, this cusp where we kind of enter the next cycle. And so it's usually a really great time for kind of focusing on what's happening for you moving forward and beginning new things, allowing those new things to kind of come into your experience and come into your life. However, right now, at the same time as this new moon in Virgo, Mars is in retrograde, and it's also facing off with Saturn. And basically what that all translates to is it's not a great time for starting new things. It's not a great time for new projects. It's not a great time for new experiences, new circumstances. Not that you have to avoid those things, but you're not going to receive any extra support through this particular new moon. The other thing that's important here is that Mars retrograde, similar to Mercury retrograde, is asking us to be aware of our past, be aware of what has come before and what is behind us, as far as the practicalities of how we're moving forward. And so the combination of this Mars retrograde and this new moon in Virgo is really asking us to revisit, take this moment as an opportunity to revisit our past, to revisit what we have forgotten, whether that be circumstances or projects or relationships or people or connections in our lives. What have we forgotten that we would be served by sort of bringing back around? And what have we learned about ourselves or about the world or about our relationships since this last kind of very emotional full moon in Pisces? What emotions and what feelings came up as not serving us during that time that we can now kind of set down fully and officially in this moment? Use this as an opportunity to put those things down so that we can move forward with a lighter load, so we can move forward with more efficiency, which is always very important for anything of the Virgo vibe. This is the time for you. This new moon is your invitation to take inventory of what you have been carrying and decide once and for all what it will look like for you to move forward from this point forward, and what you're going to lay down for good and what you're going to pick up and bring with you. And it is absolutely the time for you to put down any baggage that you might be carrying around self-doubt, around negative self-talk, or anything that causes you not to trust your own inherent abilities, your own inherent worth, and your own inherent value. This is an opportunity also to begin to make plans that align with your higher purpose. So I know I said in the beginning that this is not a great time for starting new things, and it's not. I don't want you to leave this new moon ritual tomorrow and jump into a new project or a new thing as if this is a typical new moon. But always in the sign of Virgo, one of the things that we're being asked to do is to plan, to start to orient the details and orient ourselves with what are we creating that is in line with our best and highest self. What are we creating if we were in the embodiment of our full potential? And then instead of jumping into something, because that's not very Virgo-like, instead we're asked to start to bring attention to the details. Bring attention to the discipline required or the organization required and the minute steps required to begin to move in that direction in a really real, tangible way. Consider this sort of your ultimate planning session with the universe. This is the universe asking you to get into touch with that higher potential, get in touch with the future that you're creating. What are you bringing into fruition? And instead of diving in or charging forward, instead, again, circle back and say, okay, what do I need to do? What are the tiny steps? What's the minutia of bringing this into fruition? And how can I use what I've learned in my past or any past reconnections or full circle moments to support me as I bring this dream, this vision into my reality? As we move through this Virgo new moon, I also want to just bring your attention to the themes of independence and inner strength and trust and knowing. And so those three kind of elements, independence, inner strength, trust and knowing, inner trust and knowing, are really the elements that in this Virgo moment are going to create your full potential. It is through those elements that you are going to embody your fullest self, your best and highest self. And so as you consider these questions and these themes that we've talked about up until this point, as you go through this meditation that we're going to do together, as you answer the journal prompts, as you begin to explore what you are preparing now, what plans you are making, what details you're paying attention to, where you are putting your time and your energy and your resources, as you begin to prepare for bringing your manifestation into reality, I want you to think about how your own sense of independence, how your own sense of inner strength, and how your own connection with your inner trust and knowing are playing a role in that journey, along that pathway. And perhaps there is one of those that you are really awesome at, and you know that that is strength that you can draw upon. And perhaps there is one of those that you know is difficult for you, you know is a struggle for you. And so wherever you fall on the spectrum for each one of those elements, independence, inner strength, inner trust and knowing, I want you to think about those themes and how they are impacting how you are able to bring things into your reality, how you are able to call in the future that is meant for you. And knowing that all three of those elements are your birthright, they are yours, they belong to you. And it's really a matter of choosing and reconnecting with that energy and with that power. And so I'm going to lead you in a short guided meditation to prepare you to do your own new moon ritual tonight. And we are going to touch on those themes and reconnect you with some of those energies. Now what I'm going to have us do is I just want to lead you in a short meditation to support your new moon endeavors. And I just encourage you to do this meditation before you move on to answering or writing through or meditating on any of the prompts that I'm going to provide for you also in the comments on this video. And as we do this meditation together, I would invite you to release any judgment of yourself. In this moment, really, one of the dangers, one of the shadows of Virgo can be this high sense of criticism. And sometimes under this Virgo energy, we can have this tendency or this temptation to be highly critical of ourselves and where we are and what we are, and what is true for us now. And that can come up especially in terms of whenever we talk about manifesting or the future or what we're creating and what we're calling forward. It can be very tempting in our humanness to allow that to become sort of this doorway to judgment. Whereas as we begin to think and connect with what we want and what we desire and what we want to create and where we want to be and that kind of ideal vision, sometimes that very human comparison kind of kicks in, right? And we start to compare where we want to be with where we are. And we can get down on ourselves and hard on ourselves, and we can slip into, this place of judgment about our actual reality, when in truth we are on a path. And instead of thinking of ourselves as being here and wanting to be over here and letting that sense of inadequacy or that sense of judgment or that sense of sadness or anger that we aren't where we want to be yet, give yourself the grace and the freedom as we go through this meditation, as you go through the prompts for this new moon in Virgo, and just as you move through your life in general, give yourself the grace and the permission to, instead of judging yourself for being here, acknowledge that you are ever moving on a pathway and that you are never just here, and you are always moving forward. And you are always moving down a path, bringing you closer and closer and closer to your own potential and to your own ideal and to your own creation. And so you don't have to judge yourself for being in a specific place, because the truth is that you're never in a specific place for long, and that we are always invited and we are always prompted and we are always able to keep moving down that path, whatever that looks like for you. So let's take this opportunity as we go through this meditation to just drop that judgment. Don't worry about where you are now versus where you're going. Again, Virgo new moon is asking you in this moment to visualize that ideal future, and instead of being overwhelmed by the big picture, or instead of trying to jump from here to there and make it happen now, this new moon is asking you to begin to ask yourself, what small steps, what details, what organization, what discipline, and what have I learned from my past to help me move down that path in a practical, tangible way. That said, for this meditation, I would just like you to make sure that you're in a comfortable seated or lying position. Take a few deep breaths to begin. Close your eyes for me. And just take a moment and place one or both hands over your heart. And as you hold your hands over your heart space, continue to take those deep breaths, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Allowing your breath to fill your belly. Breathe maybe a little bit deeper than you normally would, but nothing forced. Don't hold the breath any longer than is comfortable. Allow yourself to fall into an easy, comfortable rhythm of breathing, hands over heart. And I want you to begin by taking a moment just to honor yourself. Just feel gratitude and love and care for yourself, for being here in this moment, for showing up, for surviving the tumultuous year that we have had, for moving through the high emotions of this last full moon in Pisces. And just give yourself permission right now in this moment to appreciate yourself for all of your endeavors and for all that you've endured. We don't do this enough. And as you send yourself that sense of appreciation, I want you to begin to imagine that out of the top of your head, there is a string, a cord, a ribbon of light. And I want you to imagine this cord, this connection from the top of your head, flowing upward out of the space that you're in through the universe, connecting you with your highest self, your soul. And as you become aware of that connection, I want you to imagine that this cord, this string, this ribbon, begins to glow a color. Be any color you'd like. Whatever comes to mind is totally fine. And as you notice that cord glowing with that light, with your mind's eye, I want you to see the entire cord, all the way from you to your higher self. I want you to see that it is unbroken. Notice that there is flow, that the light, the glow, moves from one end to the other without interruption and back. It is perfect. And through that connection, I want you to begin to receive an extra layer of energy. Imagine that your highest self, your soul, with all of the knowing and the perspective of your highest version, begins to send you a light and energy. And this extra light, as it flows through this cord, I want you to imagine that it's a different color. And I want you to see it with your mind's eye, flowing through this connection, running down from your higher self and into your body. And this light, this color that you see, that you are now receiving, contains anything that you need the most right now. It is filled with whatever energy you need to fulfill and embody your highest potential. And in this moment, any perceptions of lack, any perception of shortcomings, any lingering belief that there is anything wrong with you, that you are broken in any way, is now released, replaced by this universal energy flowing from your higher self, now entering your body and filling every cell, every space, down to the bottoms of your feet, the very tips of your fingers, running through every organ, every muscle, every fiber, every piece of tissue, every chakra, every energy center is now glowing with the color that you chose, filling your physical form, your human self, with whatever energy or belief or truth that you need the most right now. And imagine with it flowing through that connection, entering your body, still filling every cell, every space, every piece of tissue, every molecule of your being, are those divine energies of independence, inner strength, and an unwavering trust and knowing, serving your highest potential and your highest purpose. And as you continue to embody this energy, this light, I want you to imagine that you notice in front of you a suitcase. This suitcase can look like anything you'd like it to look like. It could be one you've seen before, it could be familiar to you, or it could be entirely unfamiliar to you. And as you notice this suitcase sitting in front of you in your mind's eye, I want you to imagine opening it. It's empty. And in this moment, as you look at this empty suitcase, now filled with the energy of your highest potential, from the highest version of you. I want you to imagine removing from your being, whether it be your physical body or your energy body, conscious or unconscious. Imagine with your hands that you are going to remove from your body any energy that you are carrying that makes you doubt yourself, any energy of self-doubt. And as you imagine taking that self-doubt out of your being, I want you to give it a physical appearance. Imagine that it looks like something. Anything that comes to mind is completely appropriate. And I want you to place all of your self-doubt in the suitcase in front of you. Your body, your being, your physical body, your energy body is no longer required to carry it. It does not serve you nor your highest potential, and you have permission to put it down. I want you to remove from your body and your energy body now any energy of criticism, whether it be your own self-critic, your own inner critic voice, whether it be other people in your past who have criticized you, beliefs that you have formed about yourself based on other people's limiting thoughts and opinions or criticisms of who you are and what you want and what you desire and who you are becoming, including with that any self-judgment that you may have been carrying. Remove that energy from your body, your physical body, your energy body. Give it a physical appearance and put it in the suitcase. It is no longer yours to carry. You are no longer beholden to the critics of your past, whether that be yourself or someone else. In this moment, you are free from those voices, free from those beliefs that you have formed based on their criticisms of you. You are no longer limited because those were never true to begin with. And imagine putting that energy in the suitcase and taking your hands off of it and declaring in this moment that you are done with it. And now removing from your physical and energy body any energy of distrust in yourself or the universe. Any beliefs, any energy, any experiences that have caused you to distrust your own abilities, to distrust your own purpose, or to distrust that you are fully supported by the universe in every moment. Imagining that that energy also looks like something as you remove it from your body and place it in the suitcase in front of you, knowing that once you do, you are free from it. Allowing those spaces to be filled in with that new energy from your soul. That new energy of trust and inner knowing. And reconnecting as you place that old energy in the suitcase, reconnecting with the truth that always was, that you have everything that you need and everything you need is accessible to you. And that you can trust yourself, that you can trust the universe, and that you are supported and you are loved now and always, no matter what. And last, but certainly not least, imagining removing from your physical body and your energy body any energy or feelings of instability and insecurity. As you place those objects and that energy in the suitcase, you remember in this moment that you have the power to choose your focus. And that if in the future you are ever to feel unstable or insecure, that is fleeting information, there to help you pay attention, but means nothing about you. That is not something you adopt or own or keep. You release it. And in this moment, releasing any instability and insecurity that you have gathered up until this point, that you've been holding on to erroneously, that you have been keeping to keep you safe when you don't need it at all, and placing it now in the suitcase in front of you. And as you look now down at the suitcase, I want you to see all of the objects and all of the energy that you have placed in this suitcase. And in this moment, I want you to notice that they are outside of you and no longer within you. And being outside of you means that you are no longer connected to, no longer beholden to, no longer limited by those beliefs, that energy, those feelings. And the truth is that you don't need them, and you never did. And feel now, become aware of that new energy from your best and highest self coursing through your body, filling every cell and every space now, even as we speak, recharging your spirit and your being, giving you hope and connection, strength and knowing. Feeling how much that new energy from your highest self resonates with who you are and who you are becoming and what you are creating. Knowing that this new energy feels right and at home. And knowing that this is the energy that you are made of. Imagine now taking your hands and closing that suitcase. Once and for all. To be done in this moment, releasing these things permanently from here on out. Closing that suitcase and locking it. And I want you to imagine now that archangels will join you in the space that you're in. They can appear as lights, as traditional angels, as figures, whatever feels right for you, knowing that they are powerful messengers of the universe and they are here to take your suitcase from you. Because you no longer need it nor anything that it contains. And as you turn your suitcase over to the archangels, imagining their powerful glowing hands taking that suitcase from you, I want you to imagine that they fly it up to the universe, to the source of all that is, to the source of all knowing, to be transmuted once and for all into energy that will serve you and the planet better. Knowing in your heart of hearts that that is true, and so it is. And as you take your hands, now no longer having a suitcase in front of you, still holding your hands over your heart, I want you to send gratitude to the universe and to your highest self for this moment of support and release. Thanking your higher self for this energy, for sending you independence and inner strength and trust and knowing and everything that you need to move forward from this point on, bringing your dreams and your visions into reality and into fruition. Knowing and trusting that you inherently contain now everything that you need in order to do exactly that, to bring what is divine into fruition on the earth. Feeling that new energy, that new light, moving and flowing throughout your body. Knowing that you, even after this meditation has ended, are always connected to your best and highest self, to your soul, and that you can and will receive more of this energy whenever you need it. There is no limit. It is infinite, and it belongs to you. Knowing in this moment that you can use this new energy to cast a vision for yourself moving forward. And with the help and support of the Virgo new moon, you can begin to take the first, smallest steps toward creating that vision. No longer carrying the baggage of your past, no longer carrying the baggage of what has no longer served you, and moving forward in full possession of your best and highest potential. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Now taking a deep breath in through your nose, releasing through your mouth. Another breath in deeply through your nose, sending the breath down into your belly, and releasing through your mouth. Moving now so that one hand remains over your heart and the other hand, using 2 or 3 fingers, presses or taps your gamut point, which is that soft spot between the knuckle of your pinky and the knuckle of your ring finger. Just pressing that acupressure point, which helps lower your subconscious resistance to change. And repeating after me out loud if you can. There are parts of me that have been healed by this. And there are parts of me that are still being healed. The parts of me that have not yet been healed are willing to learn from the parts that have. My mind, body, spirit, and energy system are accepting that information now. New neural pathways. The information transfer is complete. I am grateful. Thank you. Together, divine. Taking one more deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. You can complete your new moon ritual by following up and spending some time exploring or meditating on the journaling prompts that I've included for you in the comments of this video. Remembering that as you move through them, that you are harnessing the energy that you gathered in this last meditation. And that everything that you decide, every vision that you cast for yourself, should be rooted and grounded in the sense of independence, inner strength, trust, and knowing. This is your opportunity again to have a planning session with the universe, to really bring what you've learned in this past month and over the past 6 months into some tangible fruition, empowering and driving how you're moving forward into a new vision. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope that this served you deeply, and I cannot wait to see what you create moving forward.